We live in a world where every day feels like a battle. There are struggles we face, both seen and unseen, challenges that seek to wear us down, test our will, and break our spirits. In the midst of this, there is a truth that remains unchanged, a truth that offers both strength and protection, the armor of God. Truth, in its essence, is the bedrock upon which every other aspect of life is built. In a world where falsehoods are often dressed in alluring masks, where deception can be subtle and insidious, truth stands as the solid foundation that cannot be shaken. It is the thread that connects everything meaningful in life, grounding us in reality and enabling us to navigate the complexities of existence. Without truth, we are like ships adrift at sea, tossed by the waves of uncertainty, unable to find any direction or purpose. The significance of truth begins with its inherent power to guide. When we are equipped with the truth, we are no longer lost in the fog of doubt or confusion. We see clearly, and our path becomes illuminated. This is not simply about knowledge, but about a deeper understanding of reality, one that is unclouded by the distortions of the world around us. The truth provides clarity in the midst of the chaos, offering us the wisdom to make decisions that align with what is real and just. In a world that often promotes relativism, where truth is seen as subjective and malleable, the idea of an unchanging, absolute truth can seem like an old relic from a bygone. Yet, this truth is timeless, never changing, and always present. It does not bend to our desires or the shifting tides of culture. It stands firm, offering a point of reference that never falters. Truth also empowers us to build trust, both in others and in ourselves. Trust is the cornerstone of all meaningful relationships, whether personal, professional, or spiritual. Without truth, trust is nothing more than a fragile illusion. When truth is compromised, relationships begin to crumble. Falsehoods, even those that seem harmless or small, create rifts that grow over time, eroding the foundations of trust and connection. But when truth is upheld, trust flourishes. It allows us to engage with the world and with others authentically, knowing that we are not hiding behind falsehood or pretending to be something we are not. This authenticity builds deep, lasting bonds, whether it is in the context of friendships, family, or even our relationship with the divine. When we live in truth, we present our true selves, unafraid of exposure or judgment, because we are anchored in what is real. Moreover, truth serves as a protective shield against deception. Deception is one of the most dangerous forces that can take root in the human heart. It blinds us to the consequences of our actions and distorts our understanding of right and wrong. A lie, even one that is cleverly disguised or seems to offer temporary relief, ultimately leads us down a path of destruction. The more we stray from the truth, the more we fall into confusion, shame, and regret. But when we hold fast to the truth, it guards us from being misled. It sharpens our discernment, enabling us to see through the lies that surround us. Truth gives us the wisdom to recognize deceit when it presents itself, and the strength to reject it. In a world where lies often appear more convenient or comfortable than truth, the temptation to abandon the truth can be overwhelming. But the armor of God calls us to embrace truth, even when it is difficult, because it is the only thing that can protect us from the ravages of deception. Truth also empowers us to act with integrity, even when the cost is high. It is easy to compromise on the truth when there is a personal gain to be made, or when the truth seems inconvenient. But the truth demands that we act with honor, that we choose what is right, even when it is hard, even when it requires sacrifice. Integrity, rooted in truth, is the bedrock of moral courage. It is the strength to stand firm in our convictions, regardless of the pressures or consequences. Those who choose to live by the truth become beacons of hope and light in a world that desperately needs both. Integrity born from truth is not just about avoiding dishonesty, it is about living in a way that reflects the deeper, unshakable truths of existence. It is about aligning our actions with the principles that transcend time and culture, principles that lead to flourishing, justice, and peace. Furthermore, truth serves as the key to freedom. While it may seem paradoxical, it is only by embracing the truth that we can experience true liberation. Lies enslave us, binding us to false narratives and unhealthy patterns. They trap us in cycles of guilt, shame, and confusion, preventing us from becoming the people we were meant to be. But when we know the truth, we are set free from these chains. The truth frees us from the tyranny of lies, from the pretending, and from the fear of exposure. It is in truth that we discover who we really are and who we are meant to be. This freedom is not just about external circumstances, it is an inner freedom that comes from knowing that we are living in alignment with what is real and eternal. The pursuit of truth brings liberation not only to the mind but to the heart and soul, allowing us to walk with courage and confidence in a world that is often dark and deceiving. Truth also connects us to something greater than ourselves. In a culture that often prioritizes individualism and subjective experience, the idea that truth is a universal, objective reality can seem alien or even oppressive. However, it is precisely this universal truth that gives our lives meaning and direction. It points us beyond ourselves to a higher purpose and a deeper reality. The pursuit of truth is the pursuit of understanding the world as it truly is, and our place within it. It connects us to the wisdom of those who have walked this path before us, and to a reality that is more profound and eternal than the fleeting distractions of everyday life. Truth gives us perspective, reminding us that our lives are part of a much greater story, one that is unfolding according to a divine plan. The pursuit of truth, then, is not just a matter of intellectual pursuit or moral duty. It is a spiritual endeavor. In seeking truth, we are seeking to align ourselves with the divine order of the universe. Truth is not something we create, it is something that exists beyond us, something we discover. It is in this discovery that we find peace, purpose, and fulfillment. The truth has the power to transform us, to reshape our hearts and minds, and to restore us to a state of harmony with the world around us. The armor of God invites us to don this truth every day, to wear it as a shield, as a guide, and as a protector. In doing so, we find ourselves grounded, secure, and equipped to face the challenges of life with courage, wisdom, and hope. The truth, unchanging and eternal, will never fail us. It is the bedrock of our strength, our protection, and our victory. Righteousness is not simply a set of actions or a code of conduct. It is the very character of a person who chooses to live in alignment with what is just, pure, and right. In a world that is often filled with compromise, where shortcuts are taken and integrity is sacrificed for convenience, righteousness becomes a rare but crucial quality. It is not something that can be easily achieved by following a set of rules, but rather a life that is constantly choosing to do what is right, even when it is difficult, and even when there is no immediate reward. To be righteous is to live with an unwavering commitment to truth and justice. It is the decision to align one's actions with moral clarity, not based on the shifting whims of society, but according to a higher standard that transcends human understanding. Righteousness calls us to act with fairness and to uphold the dignity of others, even when it costs us something personally. It is a refusal to settle for anything less than the good, the right, and the pure, no matter the circumstances. The righteous person, therefore, does not seek their own benefit at the expense of others, but instead seeks to serve, protect, and honor those around them. This moral integrity is what allows righteousness to act as a shield. In a world filled with temptation, it is easy to give in to desires that are fleeting or to justify actions that are not entirely ethical. However, when we are clothed in righteousness, we are protected from the forces that would otherwise pull us into darkness. It becomes a safeguard against corruption, ensuring that our hearts and minds are not led astray by the allure of the easy way out. Righteousness prevents us from falling into the traps of selfishness and dishonesty, reminding us of the importance of doing what is right, regardless of the cost. It strengthens our resolve to stand firm in our convictions, even when we are faced with difficult decisions or opposition. Moreover, righteousness reflects a deeper relationship with what is true and good. It is not merely a matter of following rules or laws, but about embodying a higher purpose. Those who live righteously seek to mirror the qualities of the divine love, mercy, justice, and truth. It is through this alignment that righteousness becomes more than just a moral compass, it becomes a reflection of a greater calling. When we pursue righteousness, we are participating in something much larger than ourselves. Our lives become a testament to the goodness and justice of the Creator, who calls us to live as lights in a dark world. Living righteously is not without its challenges. It often requires us to make difficult choices, to stand firm in the face of opposition, and to sacrifice our own desires for the sake of others. But this commitment to righteousness, though hard, is what ultimately leads to peace, fulfillment, and purpose. It is a life lived with integrity, guided by a sense of moral clarity that enables us to navigate the world with confidence. Righteousness empowers us to act in ways that are aligned with the greater good, to protect what is sacred, and to pursue justice, even in the face of adversity. It is not an abstract concept, but a way of being a lifestyle that reflects the highest ideals of human dignity and moral fortitude. Peace is often misunderstood as the absence of conflict, as though true peace simply means that we no longer face the struggles, challenges, or confrontations that are part of nations. However, peace in its truest sense is something far deeper and more profound. It is not simply the absence of chaos, it is the presence of something much more powerful, an inner calm, an unshakable sense of stability that transcends the circumstances surrounding us. Peace is the foundation that allows us to stand firm, even in the midst of life's greatest trials. It is the quiet assurance that no matter what we face, we are not alone, and we are not alone, and we are not abandoned. It is the serenity that comes from knowing that we are secure, not because of our own strength or our ability to control the world around us, but because we are grounded in something far greater than ourselves. This peace is not something that can be earned or achieved through human effort alone. It is a peace that is gifted to us, a peace that transcends understanding, and that can only be found in the presence of the divine. In the chaos of life, when everything around us is in turmoil, peace becomes the anchor that holds us steady. It is a peace that enables us to face each day with a heart at rest, knowing that the storms of life will pass, that the struggles we face are not permanent, and that there is a purpose even in the most difficult moments. It allows us to rise above the anxiety, fear, and stress that often define our lives, and to live with the confidence that comes from knowing we are held in the hands of a higher power. Peace also enables us to approach conflict with a different perspective. While many would react to conflict with anger, frustration, or even violence, a person who is at peace within themselves is able to respond with wisdom, grace, and clarity. The peace that we wear as part of the armor of God doesn't eliminate conflict, but it transforms how we engage with it. Rather than reacting impulsively or letting emotions dictate our actions, peace allows us to pause, reflect, and respond in a way that reflects the values of love, understanding, and forgiveness. This is not a peace that seeks to avoid confrontation at all costs. Rather, it is a peace that empowers us to face difficult situations with humility and strength, to seek resolution without resorting to destruction, and to hold fast to our integrity even when provoked. When we are armed with peace, we are not shaken by the storms that come our way. Life has a way of throwing challenges at us that seem insurmountable: loss, betrayal, sickness, uncertainty, but peace stands firm in the face of it all. It is a peace that allows us to endure hardship without losing hope, a peace that provides strength in weakness and courage in fear. This peace is not passive, it is active, sustaining, and protective. It is the calm that steadies the soul when everything else is in motion, the stillness that helps us hear the voice of reason and clarity even in the midst of the loudest chaos. At the same time, peace is not something that can be forced or manufactured. It is not something that we can simply summon at will when we feel overwhelmed or anxious. True peace comes from a deep relationship with God, a trust in His sovereignty and His goodness. It is rooted in the knowledge that no matter what happens, God is in control. The circumstances of life may change, but God's faithfulness remains. Peace flows from this trust, from knowing that we are not defined by our circumstances, but by the eternal love and security that God offers us. This peace doesn't depend on what is happening around us, but on what is happening within us, a quiet confidence that cannot be rattled by the external noise of life. Peace also connects us with others in meaningful ways. In a world where division, anger, and conflict often define human relationships, peace becomes the bridge that brings us together. It is the peace that allows us to extend grace and forgiveness to those who hurt us, the peace that empowers us to seek reconciliation, even when we have been wronged. This peace doesn't mean that we ignore or overlook the wrongs done to us. Rather, it means that we choose not to let bitterness or hatred take root in our hearts. The peace that we carry enables us to release the desire for revenge and to offer forgiveness instead. It enables us to build relationships based on understanding and compassion, rather than on resentment and division. In a world so marked by strife, peace becomes a revolutionary force, a counter to the forces that seek to divide and destroy. In moments of doubt or uncertainty, peace offers you us clarity and direction. When we are overwhelmed by the unknown, peace gives us the ability to take a step back and see things as they truly are. It calms the frantic thoughts and fears that often cloud our judgment, allowing us to make decisions with wisdom and discernment. Peace helps us to focus on what truly matters, to let go of the distractions that pull us away from our purpose, and to move forward with confidence. It is the clarity that comes when we trust that God is leading us, that His plans for us are good, and that He will guide us through even the most difficult of times. Peace offers a stillness that allows us to hear the quiet whispers of God's guidance, to sense His presence in the moments when we feel most lost or uncertain. The peace of God also transcends all human understanding. This is one of its most remarkable qualities. It is not a peace that can be explained by human logic or reason, nor is it a peace that is dependent on favorable circumstances. Rather, it is a peace that comes from knowing that, even in the midst of suffering, we are held in God's care. It is a peace that defies the natural order of things, a peace that remains when everything else falls apart. This peace does not make sense in human terms, but it is a testimony to the power and faithfulness of God. It is the peace that comes from knowing that our lives are not in the hands of chance, but in the hands of a loving Creator who is working all things together for our good. In moments of profound grief or pain, the peace of God is what sustains us. It doesn't take away the hurt, but it gives us the strength to endure. It doesn't promise that life will be free of suffering, but it assures us thus that we do not face it alone. This peace is the lifeline that keeps us afloat when everything else seems to be sinking. It is the promise that no matter the trials we endure, there is a peace that surpasses all understanding, a peace that guards our hearts and minds and holds us fast. The armor of God calls us to put on this peace, not just as a passive trait, but as an active force that empowers us to stand firm, to face challenges with strength, and to be a beacon of calm in a chaotic world. Faith is a powerful force, a steadfast belief that reaches beyond the visible, beyond what we can touch, and grips onto something deeper, something eternal. It is not simply a belief in the existence of a higher power, but a trust, a confidence in that power's goodness and ability to guide us through the uncertainties of life. Faith is a shield that protects us from doubt, fear, and despair, and it gives us the strength to move forward when everything around us seems uncertain. In a world where so much is transient and unreliable, faith becomes the anchor that holds us steady, the solid ground upon which we can build our lives. Faith is not merely a passive belief, it is an active force. It requires us to step out in trust, to believe even when we cannot see the outcome, to act according to what we know to be true, even when the circumstances suggest otherwise. True faith doesn't rely on the temporary or the superficial. It is rooted in the eternal truths that transcend the limitations of our understanding. It is the quiet confidence that what we hope for is real, even if it is not yet fully realized. This kind of faith enables us to endure hardship, to face challenges with perseverance, and to hold on to hope when everything else seems to be falling apart. In the face of adversity, faith becomes our shield, protecting us from the arrows of fear, discouragement, and self-doubt. It reminds us that we are not alone in our struggles, but there is a greater purpose at work even when we cannot see it. Faith allows us to stand firm, even when the world around us seems to be shaking. It reminds us that, no matter what we face, we are held by a force far stronger than anything we can encounter. This faith doesn't guarantee an easy path, but it assures us that we are never walking it alone. With faith, we gain the courage to keep moving forward, to keep trusting even when the road ahead seems uncertain. The beauty of faith is that it is not dependent on our own strength. It doesn't ask us to rely on our own understanding or capabilities, but rather to trust in something greater than ourselves. Faith shifts our focus from our own limitations to the infinite possibilities that come from trusting in God's power and wisdom. It frees us from the burden of needing to control everything, and invites us to rest in the knowledge that we are cared for and guided by a higher power. This trust allows us to let go of anxiety and fear, knowing that, no matter how dire our situation may seem, we are never outside of God's care. Faith also transforms how we view the world and our place within it. It gives us eyes to see the unseen, to understand that there is more to life than what is immediately apparent. Faith helps us to see beyond the challenges of the moment and to understand that there is a greater story unfolding, one in which we are each playing a part. This perspective allows us to live with purpose, to act in alignment with the deeper truths that guide our lives, and to approach each day with the confidence that we are part of something larger than ourselves. Faith opens our eyes to the beauty and the meaning that can be found even in the midst of trials. It enables us to see hope where others see despair, light where others see darkness, and opportunity where others see only obstacles. Faith, in its deepest sense, is the unwavering belief that the promises made to us are true, even when the world around us seems to contradict them. It is the belief that, in the end, good will triumph over evil, that there is meaning to our suffering, and that we are ultimately being guided towards something better. Faith assures us that, though the journey may be long and the path difficult, there is an end to it all, a victorious end. This kind of faith strengthens our resolve to keep going, to keep trusting, even when the circumstances seem to suggest otherwise. It gives us the courage to live out our purpose with boldness and confidence, knowing that, no matter what, we are walking the path that has been laid out for us.